updates to share regarding SHEIN and his animal cruelty case. I've been following this case for a few years, and it's finally at the tail end. And people, when I posted this on Instagram, weren't familiar with this. So just a quick little recap. A few years ago, when SHEIN was still living with Lacey, right before they finally called it quits, he was at Lacey's house, and Lacey left to go do her taxes. When she came back, she noticed that there was blood on her kitchen floor, and she could not find her kitten anywhere. And she looked all over the house. She cleaned up the blood with bleach, and she was calling for the cat all night and day. And even at a few different points, SHEIN was helping her look for the cat. Next thing you know, the next morning rolls around, she still can't find the cat. She's freaking out, thinking like maybe he just like let the cat go and it's severely hurt, not knowing what happened to it. And it's breakfast time, and usually, you know, when it's time to eat, the cat will come out. So she's calling for the cat, and next thing you know, Lacey's son saw the cat lift its head up just barely on top of one of the cabinets, and Lacey went over there and looked and found the cat holding on to dear life, and it was really bad. Lacey had to take the cat to the vet, and animal control ended up pressing charges on SHEIN, and the police ended up taking SHEIN to the mental hospital that night. And here is the discharge papers when the cat was taken to the vet, explaining the medicine the cat needs every so often. The cat's name was Spooky, and this happened on April 24th of 2021, so about 3 years ago. And it explains that Spooky was presented to the emergency clinic after blunt force head trauma after a abuse event. She was given an injection of pain medication to help with discomfort. She also had x-rays. The x-rays revealed that Spooky had a fracture of her left zygomatic arch. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name of that. And it's the bones underneath Spooky's eyes. It explained that since that goes to the nose cavity, from the eyes to the nose cavity, it was also causing issues with Spooky's breathing. So that cat went through a lot, and it's just so sad, that poor little innocent kitten. And now SHEIN is finally at the tail end of this case. He just had his plea deal on July 26th, and he ended up pleading guilty, which is probably best in this case. With all the overwhelming evidence I've seen at this point, it would be in his best interest to just probably plead guilty, because if he would have took it to a jury trial and ended up being found guilty, they would have really stuck it to him, especially with this being an animal cruelty case, and there's an animal torture charge on top of that, which is a felony. And when I first reported on this, a lot of people were like, oh, I'm not buying this, I'm not seeing this case come up. Well, it took a few years for the case to finally come up in the court system. The incident did happen on April 23rd, but he was not arrested until June 1st of 2023. This is what I was told. If he ended up pleading not guilty on the 26th, then he would have had the jury trial on the 12th. He did agree that he would take a plea deal and plead guilty, so they ended up moving the day that he's supposed to take his plea deal to August 12th. He ended up checking himself into the Virginia Beach psych ward last night, so he wouldn't go to jail this morning. And he will be pleading guilty on August 12th. And I feel like he checked himself into the psych ward to try to help with his case, so he can try to show the judge and be like, look, I try to get help and do what I can after this happened. I just hope that he is making the most out of his time while he is in the mental facility, because he's been there in the past and then just came out and not took his medication again. And I've been told when SHEIN takes his medication, everything is good, but he thinks he doesn't need it, and then he'll stop taking it, and then next thing you know, he's doing things like what happened to this cat. And that's just extremely scary, because 16% of people who hurt animals go on to seriously hurt people. And I looked up SHEIN's child support records to see if he had been paying child support for summer, and he has not paid a single dime of child support. It shows he is charged $419 monthly, and as of July 29th, he owes $5,706, and $609 of that is from interest for not paying. You may look at this and be like, okay, well, it kind of looks like he paid something, because at one point it showed he owes like $6,000 around July, and then back in 2023 it was showing he owed $16,000. Well, what happened is he initially had to pay more in child support, but he ended up having a change of income and was making less, so at the last child support hearing, they decided to change the amount that SHEIN owes each month, and they ended up forgiving some of the money he owed. And that's the differences we see when they take off some money. It's not because he was making payments, it's because the government ended up forgiving it. And it shows right here, it showed EOM on the parts where it was forgiven, and it says adjustments to the amount owed through the end of the prior month or through the end of the prior current support change. And SHEIN has not seen his daughter Summer since she was 6 months old. There is a protection order currently put in place where SHEIN is not allowed to be near Summer or Lacey or come within so many feet of their home. But even if he is not allowed to see the kid, you would think he would still want to at least try to support the child in one way or another. And I guess the protection order is about to end, but she's about to go back to court and see if she can renew it for 2 more years. Lacey currently has shared custody with her parents, and her parents help out with the kids whenever she needs it, since SHEIN or his family really isn't in the picture. But that is it for this video, guys. I just wanted to give you guys an update on this case, since we have been following it for a while and we finally have the final answers. I will let you know after this plea deal happens what the judge ends up giving him. Is he gonna have to go to jail for this? Is he just gonna get probation? I'm very curious to see how this all plays out, and if him going to this mental facility is going to make a difference on how the judge ends up sentencing him. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Comments below. Check out my lashes at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for